But before we start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe underneath this video. We're about to start, so grab a drink as well as something to eat, and let's go. Alright guys, today I'm gonna be showing you some different techniques on how to side scrape and how to side scrape more effectively. This is gonna be good for newer players as well as older players. How many of you know about the secret weak points on the side of the IS-4? It's right next to the wheels and it is penetrable with pretty much every single shot. However, a lot of skilled players usually wiggle their hull in order to make you miss your shot or panic, and then they peek out and shoot you once you ricochet or missed. As you can see here, the IS-4 starts to wiggle and it is hard for me to hit the weak point, and therefore I miss, he peeks out and smashes my face. Simple. This can be done in pretty much every single tank while side scraping. Tanks that have their turrets located at the front of the hull will experience a lot more problems when side scraping, especially against tanks that have high penetration. As you can see here, when we load gold, we can easily start smashing the face of an IS-7. However, this doesn't only, apply to the IS-7. This applies to a lot of tanks with their turrets at the front of the hull. An easy remedy to stop enemies from penetrating you is to basically reverse side scrape. This allows you to peek more with your turret and expose less. As you can see here, a simple example can be done in the T-22. We're reverse side scraping, and this allows the T-22 to peek the Leopard while not exposing its weak points. As you can see here, it's practically impossible for the Leopard to penetrate the T-22. This can be done in the IS-4, in the IS-7, and a bunch of other tanks that have their turret at the front of the hull. As you can see here, we miss or we don't penetrate, and the enemy T-22 basically smashes our face. Another thing I see way too many times in randoms is players in a mouse, in an E100, not properly angling their turret. Guys, angling your turret is super important if you want to deflect more shells. As you can see here, the E100 is pretty much gray. However, once it turns its turret just slightly and angles it towards the enemy, it is impossible to penetrate the E100 under a side scrape. As you can see here, it is impossible to penetrate the E100. And this is a good way to start baiting the enemy. This isn't just the 100, this is the mouse, this is the motion, etc, etc. The next tip is regarding tanks with weak cheeks or with weak points on the face of the turret. As you can see here, the IS-4 does have a big weak point on its face which can be penetrated with relative ease. However, the simple remedy to this is to basically turn your gun. As you can see here, if the IS-4 turns its gun, it pretty much baits the shots from the enemy. Furthermore, it makes it pretty much impenetrable if you're not shooting just above the wheels. Now, this isn't just regarding the IS-4, this is the Tiger, this is the E50M, this is the E75, and a bunch of other tanks, so definitely use this in random battles. The next thing is tanks with a cupola on top of the turrets, obviously. As you can see here, the E6 is not penetrated into the side. However, it has a big fat cupola on top of it which can easily be penetrated by the enemy. So when you're side scraping, make sure to know on which side your cupola is. For example, the E6 has its cupola on the right side, which means it's prone to being damaged or hit by the enemy. As you can see here, the E6 would have been impenetrable if it wasn't side scraping from this side. A simple remedy to this, guys, is to side scrape from the other side. You guessed it. As you can see here, now the E6 is impenetrable to medium tanks or some heavy tanks during a side scrape just because of the fact that it has closed off its cupola. Keep in mind, guys, these tips don't just apply to the tanks I showed in this video. They apply to pretty much every single tank in the game that can side scrape. The rest of the research is upon you. I just showed you the basic ways to tank more shells or block more damage while side scraping. With that, this video comes to an end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy is out. Bye bye.